to my persuasive speech, and this is my audience. How many of you have gone on a cruise before? How many of you are up to date on what is going on with the cruise industry, specifically Carnival Cruise Lines? Currently, the cruise industry is hurting due to Carnival's recent mishaps, such as Carnival Concordia, Carnival Triumph, and Carnival Dream. The cruise industry has revenue of about $37.85 billion for the U.S. economy annually. Over 16 million passengers cruise per year. The average age of cruisers is about 50 plus years. The cruise industry is also the fastest growing segment of the travel industry. If you are a first-time cruiser, you probably don't know what really goes on behind the scenes. All you hear about cruises is that they are fun, luxurious, filled with adventure, good food, and so on. What people are unaware of is what happens when a fun ship goes down. As most people know, Carnival Cruise Lines are considered the fun ships that attract a younger population. Could the recent events affect the industry's business? The problem here is that cruise ships are not as safe as they seem. Yes, most voyages go without problems, but when they do, passenger safety is greatly jeopardized. Now, please allow me to explain the problems the cruise industry is currently facing. First, cruise ships are too big. There are too many people abroad. Second, cruise ships, especially Carnival, are failing CDC health inspections. Cruise ships are having maintenance problems, such as the engine blowing up. Cruise ships go on too many back-to-back voyages year-round. The lack of compensation is upsetting passengers. Passenger safety is being jeopardized when things do go wrong aboard. So overcapacity. This can mean the vessel size, the too many people, slow embarkment and disembarkment off the ship. They are too crowded, so there's a change in atmosphere. The industry is spending too much money on newer and bigger ships. Now, failed inspections. The cruise industry has surprise inspections by the CDC, and they have recently found flies, roaches, cold food, contaminated water, and so on. Maintenance problems such as engine fires, loss of power, no water, and a lot of smoke. According to New York Times, Barry Meyer and Jerry Schwartz state that lack of backup power puts cruise passengers at the ocean's mercy. Most travelers do not realize when they book cruises that nearly all ships lack backup systems to help them return to port. Should power fail, because to install them would cost a lot of money. Overall, safety troubles may increase, experts say, as operators introduce a new generation of megaships. Too many voyages can lead to not enough time for basic maintenance. Crew members are exhausted, and cleanliness is jeopardized. Olivia Matheson states, with a bigger fleet, these incidents are still few and far between in the big picture, but they raise questions. Is the focus on cost reduction impacting maintenance procedures and crewing, or is going from 30-month to 60-month dry dock intervals such a good idea? Recently, Carnival Triumph had the big incident in the Gulf of Mexico, and there was a problem with compensation. Passengers weren't happy with Carnival Triumph because of miserable conditions. They were given a full refund for the cruise, travel expenses, reimbursement for nearly everything spent on board, equal credit for future cruises, and a $500 check per person, but many people were unhappy. I don't think that was fair. Also, passenger safety. For instance, on the Carnival Triumph, people were stranded 4-5 days. No transfer to other boats. Boats came and delivered food, but no one would offer to get them off the ship. There were no food, long lines, and cold food. There is also human waste all over the floor, so many people were getting sick. Senator Rockefeller believes that the cruise industry needs to do a better job regulating itself. He said the recent incident on board the Triumph was just the latest in a long string of events that show the industry isn't doing its job to safeguard its passengers. In the past 5 years, the U.S. Coast Guard has had to make 90 safety interventions involving Carnival ships. 3 such incidents occurred within the last week. He said that while Carnival is not a monopoly, the company seems to have monopoly power once it gets passengers out to sea. Solutions for the problem do exist, and it can help alleviate the problem. These solutions include having emergency power capabilities on each ship, backup power. They need to perform regular maintenance after every voyage, so maybe take a few days off between voyages. There needs to be better compensation for passengers that do experience trouble on board, such as expanding the availability of hotel services for the comfort of its guests in the rare instance of a shipboard event that involves the loss of main power. Also needed to have better ship evacuation procedures. the cruise industry implements these solutions, more people will feel safe about going on a cruise and have an overall better attitude. If these solutions are not implemented, then more problems will continue to arise. It is time for Carnival to take responsibility for the issues their ships are experiencing. They need to take this issue seriously because lives are being affected in many ways. You can help solve these problems by discussing these possible solutions and implementing them. The cruise industry has no choice, and if this is not done, the industry will flounder with no hope of recovery. According to an online article, a problem among one cruise line affects them all, as many vacationers, even past cruisers, don't remember one cruise line from the next. When one gets a fever, they all shiver. And that is it.
Okay, here's your audience. Cool.